Okay. Welcome, guys, to the rental podcast brought to you by Landlord 360. And this is a safe space. This is a one-stop channel for your worries, your griefs, your questions, things that linger in your mind, whether as a landlord or as an agent or as a house hunter, as a tenant or whatnot. And we try as much as possible to discuss the topics that are deep down hidden in the hearts of our audience members, our listeners, our viewers, and see how far it is we can trash them out on the podcast in times like this. So stay tuned and learn, enjoy yourself, but don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and comment. And of course, if you have questions for us, you can also ask, and who knows, that might just be our next line of discussion here on the podcast. I'm joined by the CEO and founder of Landlord 360 in person of
Ibrahim Operemi. Thank you for having me. Just like you rightly said, on this podcast we'll be bringing those things that are closer to you and those things that are far away from you as it concerns renting in Nigeria. And also we intend to conjure all the stakeholders together that are in the rental space in Nigeria, which are others around, the landlord, the tenant, the house hunters, and the agents as well. So today we'll be talking on why your rent is higher than your salary.
Well, I think one thing that people don't tend to foresee is the fact that the money you pay as rent for the shelter or the roof above your head is not the only cost as per living in itself. It's not the only cost as per having that roof above your head. And there are a whole lot of loopholes that we need to emphasize more. Now these are things that people get to know as they live in the house.
Yeah.
But it's going to be how more enjoyable or better it would be if they have these things at the back of their mind even before they move into the houses. And we're going to be talking about a whole lot of this today. I am myself Eric Stanislaus, and let's just kick off. So why is rent higher than your salary and the real cost of living in Nigeria? Let's take it from the ever increasing rents in Nigeria in relation to the stagnant income of even the working class in our country, Nigeria, today. How do you?
I would say personally it borders with the individual in question. Many Nigerians, or let's say many people, live in the open economy. To get the house rent might not be an issue, to pay might not be an issue, but the ensuing costs at the long run, just like you stated, that most people only cares about, they only talk about the rent, not the other factors.
Yes.
Like let's say as simple as how much you pay to get to, let's say, the popular bus stop around your area. That is a cost that will keep eating you up as long as you are in that area. Let's say how you get water, how the standard of living and your day-to-day life in that particular area. So sometimes it's even better and cheaper to rent, let's say, in a place where the rent is higher, but the standards are also higher. Than you go to a place where you feel the rent is cheap, but you pay in kind later. I've had a significant experience over the year where I got a place that was cheaper, but I paid financially, emotionally, in fact spiritually, because most times from the house to the junction is, let's say, like 15 minutes walk most times.
Wow.
And it's not a place where bikes commute every time.
Yeah.
It's not a busy road, so most times you have to wait till anyone is coming. And at some point I got the numbers of few riders around the area, but it's still the same story because I'm at their mercy. If they come, fine. If they don't come, I don't have anything to do about it.
If you look at the bright side of that, at least you got to exercise your body more. Well, according to a publication that I read on from The Guardian, I think sometime in December 2025. It was stated there that on an average employed Nigerian spends well above 40% of their yearly income on housing, as against the IMF recommendation of 30%. And that margin, that 10% margin, is a whole lot, right? If you look at the average income of an average employed Nigerian, ranging from maybe 80,000 to 120,000 naira. Yeah. If we say 120,000 naira for a whole year, that is about 1,440,000. Yeah, 1,440,000 naira.
Yeah.
If it's 1,440,000 naira and you live in, let's say you live in Ilorin, you live in a 2-bedroom apartment in Ilorin, and your rent is like 600,000 naira per annum. 600,000 naira from the 1.4 million, you just have a little above 600,000 naira to manage yourself. Yeah. Say 700 or 800,000 naira thereabout. By the time we break this down on a monthly basis, you have roughly 70 to 75,000 naira to hold your life for a whole month, of which is not even feasible. Yeah. Transportation to work, cost of living, your health, data, recharge card, and even expenses of the house in itself, plumbing issues, electricity, and whatnot, right? So that is one of the reasons rent is actually more expensive than we think. That's one of the reasons rent is actually taking a whole lot more, because we invest so much in where we stay, we invest so much in the things, the shelter above our heads, but the income is not commensurate to the expenditure in that sense. And we're not even talking about we're not talking about the structure alone. We're not talking about the amenities you put into the house itself, because of course if you're renting an apartment, I don't know, but I've not rented an apartment before where it comes with chairs or TV or mattress and stuff.
Not a service apartment.
Why not a service apartment? So you have to invest financially in those things also. And this is something that really burdens me. This is something that really burdens me a lot. It really burdens me.
I think it has to do with the individual, and then we live in a country where regulations are scarce, and then people prefer to do things the way they see it. Yeah. Let me say, everyone flex their muscles accordingly. Yeah. The landlord is a king in the house, so he flexes his muscle accordingly. There are cases online where you see somebody that said, I got this apartment 6 months ago. I did this, I did that, mostly for commercial space. Yeah. And then after 6 months or a year, the landlord increases the rent. And that became worrisome. Not even about the rent that was increased, but what they spent inside. Exactly. Let's say for a business space now, you have to enhance this. You have to enhance it for customer to feel comfortable and feel confident with your business. That this person, I like this place. Yeah. And then you are paying for the comfort most times. Yeah. So it bothers. It's not even about the individual anymore. It's about the landlords, the kings of the rental space, the landlords, and then the agents. So those are hidden issues that we don't see, because most times, let's forget the financial aspect. You can rent a space and your peace of mind is attacked. You can't really say, oh, this is the kind of person this person will be, maybe at the cost of trying to rent the apartment and all of that. But at the long run, maybe you're having one issues or the other. It will be, it will even leave the financial aspect aside, and then it will now come to, do I want to do this for my sanity? Or do I have to escape this?
The mental health and other things.
Yes.
I think one thing we should not leave out is the fact that there are other factors aside even from the part of the tenants too, right? Okay. if you look at the agents, their fees, their inspection fees, their what do they call it?
Other additional
Agency fees,
expenses.
other additional expenses also. It's also a contributing factor, right? Even for the landlords, inflation rate, economic realities, industrialization in the environment, as basic as cost of living is, for some landlords, that 4-bedroom apartment is where they bank all their financial investments in. That's where they feed their families. That's where they send their children to school. That's where they do a whole lot of other things. So, well, sometimes it might not be justifiable enough for them to increase the rent, because sometimes it's not like the landlords are even investing the money back into the structure. But then these are different sides of the same factor that makes rentage in itself more expensive. But it is just so sad that most of the burden falls back on the tenants, that most of the burden or the expenses fall back on the tenants themselves.
I think I wouldn't blame them that much, in the sense that you see, most of these factors are beyond them. But for the agent, I can't really say for all of them, but some of them, that is their main source of income. That is where they are meant to survive. And aside, even let's say the 10% and all of that, some of them still go ahead to like inflate the rent. Let's say they are giving a 2-bedroom for, let's say, 500k, and they put it at 700k and still collect charges on it. That is way beyond normal.
I feel like there should be a regulatory body for agents themselves. I know they are for landlords. I know they are tenancy laws, but for agents themselves, because
I think they are for agents.
I'm so glad that Landlord 360 has come to bridge these gaps. I'm so glad that Landlord 360 has come to look at these loopholes and see how much or how far we can bring these entities or factors together. Because the truth is, there isn't the one or the other. We need the landlords, we need the agents, we need the tenants for the rental space to keep thriving, for the rental space to keep moving, right? And of course, Landlord has a lot to offer to us. Can you just share some things with us?
Yeah, thank you for that. One of the major reason why we have Landlord 360 is to put a stop to most of these corrupt practices in the rental space, be it from the landlord, the tenant, or the agent. Sometimes landlord just increase rent without a corresponding value to the house. Let's say the house that you've built for 10 years now, you did nothing. You just know that, okay, landlord A and B have increased their own rent, and because of that reason you are increasing your rent. So if part of what we plan to do is that if you're a landlord on the house, you don't just increase your rent just like that. We have to put the tenant into equation too, and then the agent under us too. Things have to go normally and not abnormally, and that's why one of our core values are we use technology and empathy. Not that because things are like this, inflation is high and things are going haywire in the economy, then everything will fall back to the the tenant. And even if we are to put it at that, directly or indirectly, it is affecting people outside the rental space. Because if, let's say, a tenant is paying, let's say, 250k for an apartment, and then it's increased to 350k, they will look for a way to put it in their business. And you wouldn't know. They just look for a loophole and just increase this. Maybe they are rendering service or product. They will increase because that is their own source of income too. And for the landlord and the agent, that is their own source of income. As time goes on, we try to put an anomaly, a stop into all of these corrupt practices.
Thank you very much. It was actually a swell time. And another thing that Landlord 360 has done that I personally love is the fact that Landlord 360 has been able to build an ecosystem, an all-round ecosystem. I mean, 360 degrees ecosystem.
Yeah.
We have agents, of which we refer to as relationship managers. We have landlords that partner with us, and then we have tenants. So everything as regards the rental space goes on within this ecosystem, right? You come with your request. I want a 2-bedroom apartment. This is my budget in this area. We take that. We speak to relationship managers. We speak to our landlords that partner with us, and we get exactly what it is that you have described to us. You go to inspect, and then you move in. And Landlord 360 still becomes and still remains a very important factor, even in the relationship between these three entities together. So of course, nothing can go wrong. You don't expect anything to go wrong. So thank you for watching this. Drop your likes, your comments, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if there's any question that you have, please ask. Because one of the reasons that we are here is to address the issues that linger in your mind. This is Landlord 360. This is the Rental Podcast. We are reinventing the rental space through technology and empathy. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.